Hi, I'm Boris, TNW founder and your host for Kia's Next Big Drive. In this series, we will be giving a lift to 5 innovators speaking at TNW 2025. Let's get going.
I'm driving through Amsterdam, just came from the conference. I'm now on my way to the Rabobank headquarters, one of the biggest banks in the Netherlands, and I'm gonna pick up Natasha Govender-Ropert. I hope I pronounced that right.
Hi, Boris.
So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
I try to say what your title is at the bank, but then it's so long. Tell me what it is.
Yes, so I'm responsible. So I work within Rabobank in financial economic crime, and I am responsible to ensure that all the AI and Gen AI models that we actually produce is compliant, but also more importantly that it's trustworthy.
Right.
And you can imagine within a space like financial crime, this is quite essential. So this is the kind of core responsibility of my role. What we do is, so at the very beginning, the core of any, or the first step of any machine learning algorithm or process is about the data that you have.
Right.
So I always say you have to understand your data. So what is your data telling you? What is the labeling? And this is where we do a lot of what we call data pre-processing or data analysis. And this is where we try to understand if there is any bias in the data.
Right.
So when we actually build the algorithm, we can actually mitigate for those biases.
Right.
That's why understanding your data is very important.
Yeah, because would you say that the AI is not smart enough yet to take out sort of the rubbish before it gets in, or is it just better to clean it up?
Yeah, you have to clean it up before. Yes.
Yeah.
Because also, if you think about it, bias is not a consistent definition. If you say what I consider to be biased or non-biased might be different to somebody else. So you cannot leave this. This is something that I think we as individuals, as humans, we need to decide, make a choice to say, this is the standards or principles we will enforce.
Right.
And then we try to do that when we're looking at our data.
Yeah. And have there been instances where you fed maybe your values to AI and then it still took like a different course and you had to readjust?
No. So I think this is sort of the idea that people have that it can actually change. But if you look at traditional AI, let's leave Gen AI out of it. But if you look at traditional AI, it can only do what you tell it to do. So the way you build it, the way you, the features that you use and the parameters, it cannot deviate from that. So if there's anything that happens with, or the outputs of an AI system, there's a human that made those decisions. Yes.
Yeah, but I could imagine, but maybe this is too theoretical, but that like if you give me 10 ingredients and ask me to make a dish, there's a chance that I might combine the wrong ingredients,
Yeah. So I think, so there's different types of machine learning. So you have supervised learning, which is very clear. You do have reinforcement learning, which can learn from, itself.
Yeah.
But we generally don't use it in sort of like a highly regulated environment.
Right.
But one of the things you're talking about where you can use, let's say, different measurements of ingredients, this is why explainable AI is key. So when I talk about explainable AI, it's really about understanding if the machine learning algorithm flags a specific transaction for fraud, I need to understand why is it doing it?
Right.
What features did it actually take into consideration to say, hey, this is unusual behavior, please check it. So this is why the core of what we do is really around explainable AI.
Right. Because a lot of AI, I think the perception is that it's sort of a black box. Nobody really understands how it works anymore.
So I think it depends on what type of AI algorithm that you're using. But if we look at the more complicated sort of deep learning algorithms, sometimes it's difficult to understand what's going on. And then now if you look at Gen AI, it's trained on trillions and trillions of bytes of data.
Right.
We have no clue.
No.
we have no clue how it's trained. And
you're not going one.
Yes, exactly.
No,
And of course, the proprietary models, the companies are not going to tell you how they trained it.
No.
So this is also sort of a new reality that we have to live in terms of traditional AI. We have a lot of control over what we're doing. But with Gen AI, you don't know what data it's been trained on. So how do you mitigate for bias then when you don't know the fundamental input of the model?
Yeah. So can you tell me a little bit about your talk today? What is your message?
Yeah, so I think the most important thing for me is about understanding like the basics of how AI works, how fraud works, to really question things that you see now. I think with the advent of Gen AI, I think that's really important. And as I was mentioning before, for me, responsible AI is really important. It should be fundamental to everything that we do. And by responsible AI, I mean about understanding the AI that we're working with, ensuring that it serves society as a whole. But also, if you look, I also mean responsible from the fact that Gen AI uses a lot of energy, a lot of computational power. So also the question, do we actually need to use it for a specific cause? So that's also about being responsible in our approach to solving different problems.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that something you think as a user you should also think about? Like, I heard that a lot of energy is wasted because people at the end of a question
say thank you.
Right?
Yes, that's true.
And that's sort of processing power and water and cooling.
Yes,
and
exactly.
then,
I read OpenAI uses a lot of money because people say good morning and thank you.
Which is also cute. I mean, that's it's difficult to tell people stop being polite.
Yes.
Right? No, stay polite. But
so it's so ingrained in our personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's just also about understanding what do we use it for, because often I see also, let's say within AI, it's people that work in the field. Gen AI is so new, it's like a new toy, and everybody wants to use it. And for me, it's always about, is it the right tool to use for what we're trying to solve? So there may be other traditional AI or even just analytics that can solve our problem. So for me, it's also about choosing the right tool to solve the right problem.
So can we put the monkey back in the box? Because people...
No, not for Gen AI. I think people are just so excited about what it's able to do. There's no going back.
No.
So this is why I think it's important for people to understand how to use it and how to use it properly. Because also, as I was saying, because we don't know what data has been used to train a model, then it's very easy to perpetuate biases.
Right.
So people need to understand that. Gen AI can also hallucinate, so it can make up things. It can
How does that work?
Yeah, so the way it is, it's how you actually phrase your prompt. So if I say to it, can you tell me about Natasha Govender-Ropert as a 16th century poet, it'll come up with a very nice explanation that doesn't exist. And the reason that happens is because of the way a large language model works, is it tries to fill in the gaps. So even though Natasha Govender-Ropert and 16th century poet doesn't exist together, but there are articles about 16th century poets, so it just fills in the blanks.
And that's what you would call a
hallucination. Yes, exactly. But also, what a lot of people sort of don't understand is also the way you phrase a prompt also has a huge influence on the quality of the response that you get. So you can introduce bias yourself, you can introduce hallucinations depending on how you actually phrase a prompt. Right. So that's why I think knowledge is really important here. Just understanding the basics, because I think Gen AI can really increase our productivity. I don't like mundane repetitive tasks. So I think you can really use Gen AI to improve. But how we do it, I think that's important.
Yeah.
Do you use Gen AI?
I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
and but I'm very conscious of how I'm using it. But it's life changing, right?
Yes.
It's just so interesting, and it's also a great thing to. Like I taught my parents how to use it, and now they use it every day. Yeah, they use it every day.
I would be too scared to teach my parents. my parents are already very dangerous on social media.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I would teach them Gen AI.
Well, it's a fun thing. I know my father has all conversations, and it's just endlessly patient, and you can ask questions.
Yes.
Do you ever feel guilt when you talk to an AI and you ask them to do something, and then you're not satisfied? You go, well, can you try one more time?
Yes. It's like, can you rephrase it? And you're like, oh, am I being too pedantic?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. There's that thing. Yeah.
Because sometimes, and I think this is where maybe the danger lies, is because sometimes you feel like you're talking to another human because the responses are so human-like.
Yeah. But is that a risk, or is that actually a good thing?
Well, I think it's a double-edged sword, I would
Right.
say. It's a good thing because it helps us communicate better. And we also get, with the advent of Gen AI, we get much better results. So that also helps. But one of the issues is then we have inherent trust in the system.
Right.
So then you believe everything that you hear. Oh, you get back, which may not be the truth. But also now people use, I don't know if you've heard, like they use these Gen AI systems for counseling, where, to counsel people, or even with when you have a death. Yes, but also if you have like a death in the family or somebody that's really close, people have been using Gen AI to recreate kind of the person who passed away, and you can actually communicate with them. So, you might say, well, it helps people deal with grief.
Yeah.
But then do you ever let go?
Ooh.
So it brings up, again, a lot of ethical questions about what is it that we want to do as a society.
And so that's sort of the ethical fields where you're specialized in.
Yeah, so for me, I really focus on ensuring that what we build doesn't discriminate against specific groups.
Yeah.
Because, like as I mentioned, I grew up in South Africa, and I grew up during apartheid in South Africa.
Yeah.
So as a person of color, I was, or my whole family, you were subjected to living in a specific area, to sort of inferior schooling, infrastructure, etc.
Yeah.
And if Nelson Mandela hadn't become president when he did, it would have actually been illegal for me to go to university.
Oh, really?
Yes. So this is also, I think, why fundamentally I feel very strongly about it, that we really we treat people equitably. We give everybody equal opportunities.
Yeah. I want to do a little word play game with you, where I just say a word and you just freely associate with the words as fast as you can. All right? It doesn't have to be one word. It's just the thing that you think about when you say the word. So, example, if I say flow, you say
chart.
flow chart. All right. That's one word.
Yes.
All right. So here I go.
Okay.
Acceleration.
Gen AI.
Startup.
Innovation.
Change.
Makers.
And data.
Analysis.
You're very focused on your work.
Yes.
I like it. Yeah. There's no. You didn't go off the path.
I think what's important is a lot of people get frustrated, especially, let's say, because I do a lot of consultancy with startups as well. And I think they get quite frustrated with, let's say, the regulations and having to kind of meet explainable AI and, now with this bias testing. But for me, I don't see responsible AI and innovation as mutually exclusive.
No.
I think, when you start thinking about ethics or responsible AI by design, when you start including like the whole of society, I think your innovation becomes a lot broader and a lot more creative and maybe a lot more impactful. So I think that's also something to keep in mind.
Do you think, like, going back, we should have done this when we were when like social became popular, and because that we just did it, right?
Yes.
Nobody stopped to think.
Ideally, in hindsight, yes.
Yeah.
But the thing is also, people say AI can be biased. That's not true. AI is based on human data, and it's the human data that's biased.
Yeah.
AI just exposes it.
Yeah.
So it would be great if these didn't exist. But now that we're aware of it, I think it's important that we do whatever we can to sort of mitigate the impact.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people ask me, what is the difference between Google and let's say ChatGPT, for instance?
Yeah.
Google, if you ask it, it gives you what is the most popular results, whereas ChatGPT can give you a summary of everything, that's where its value really lies.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting conclusion. Yeah. Like the most popular answer might not be the right answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas for ChatGPT, you can actually, you get the list, and then you can actually look from there what a summary.
Yeah.
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 Great.
Well, we've arrived at our destination. I hope you enjoyed the ride.
Yeah, thank you very much for driving.
My pleasure.
Yes. Great.
That was great.
Great
All
to
right,
meet
thank
you.
you. It's good to
Very
meet you, Boris.
inspiring.
Yeah, thank you.
Great day.
You too. Cheers.
Want more? Check out the next episode or watch the full Kia's Next Big Drive series right here. See you on the road.